how to charge way more money for your website builds. Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur, and like I just said, how do you actually charge more money for your website builds, right? It's going to be the same amount of work, but you're probably going to make way more money if you actually watch this video in its entirety. And the reason why I'm telling you this is I own an agency called Growth Generators, and ultimately this is what we do all the time. And what I see a lot of small businesses do and freelancers do is they sell on price, and they don't sell on value. And I'm actually going to draw out the difference between the two of them, but ultimately you're going to have a lot of different options when it comes to somebody hiring you for a website. And why should they go with you versus why should they go with somebody else? Now, I also have a lot of experience in sales and ultimately dealing with high ticket items. So how do you actually get to that, several $1,000 to $5,000 or $10,000 website versus a couple $100 website, maybe even less than a couple $100, or maybe you're just floating around that couple $100 range and you want to make way more money? Well, this is exactly how you're going to do it. You need to stop thinking about price as a number, right? And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people have this thought in their head that price actually means value. Now, there is a certain part where price does actually equate to the amount of value that they're going to get, but it's the way you sell it that makes the big difference. Let's just take two of the exact same websites, right? Let's just say I go out, I build two websites. It's a 4-page website. Maybe it's $1,000, right? Super basic, 4-page website, home, about, contact, gallery, right? 4 pages, there you go, done. Two of those exact same websites. One of them I could probably sell for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and the other one I could probably sell for $500 to $1,000, right? They both equate to almost the same amount of work. I would even say the same amount of work, but ultimately one is going to be 6, 8, 10 times more expensive than the one that's significantly cheaper, right? Because if you build a website for $300 to $500 and you're charging $3,000 to $5,000, that's a good 10x margin that you're now making. So how do you actually go about doing this? And this is something that I see, once again, all the time. And it's because people think as a freelancer or as a small business that your products should be devalued because you're just not as big as most other people. On top of that, you're also thinking about the customer and how much money that the customer actually has versus how much you'd actually like to charge for your product or service. And this is where I see a lot of people going wrong. They're making this immediate assumption that the customer doesn't have that much money and they need to, justify their price and say, well, this is what you're going to get and this is how I'm going to do it. And they give them the dog and pony show of all the benefits that they're going to get when they buy your website. And then they look at it and they're like, okay, it's a couple $100. Okay, it's a little more than I originally thought, right? That's not what you want to happen at all, because you're selling based on the benefits of your product. You're not selling based on value and the solutions that you're providing. So if you go into the same situation two different ways. So the first one, hey, what do you guys need? Okay, great. Yep, I can take care of that. Sounds great. Okay, great. That person now knows that you're probably going to just go build them a website. Whereas if you take the approach where you sit down in a meeting and that person says, hey, we really need a website. Sure. What do you need the website to do? What is the ultimate goal of the website? How is it supposed to work? And when you start asking these thought-provoking questions, people begin to perk up and they say, oh, wait, what do you mean how is it supposed to work? Well, what's the intention of the website, right? Is it to make more sales? Is it to get more customers? Is it just to sit there and be a poster board for your website or for your business online? Is it to attract an online audience? Is it to build brand awareness, right? And then what level of depth are you going to be going into your website? Are you going to have products with subcategories and you plan on running $10 or $20 or $50,000 of business through the website every year? Or are you just going to, once again, have the website sit there? And these are the questions that actually allow you to start making way more money, because in the customer's mind, they start to think, oh, okay, I'm probably going to spend, I think we could probably do $10,000 in business through our website, right? Or, hey, you know what? If your goal is to get found online, shout out to my dog Hunter who's floating around, but if your goal is to get found online, you could say, hey, look, all of our websites, we pre-bake in SEO, so you're immediately going to start getting found on Google much sooner than you would be if you may have gone with either a competitor, or if these necessary steps weren't taken. We're one of the few people that actually goes about doing this, and because of that, we do charge a bit of a higher ticket. But most of the time you'll start to get more and more visitors online, and on top of that, more visitors always means more money. So it's eventually going to turn into free customers for you because of the way that we're building it and the way that we're doing it, right? Once again, same websites. The way you position it is going to make that website significantly more valuable to that customer. Now you could go in and say, yeah, that website's going to be $5,000. And they go, $5,000? That's crazy. That's so much money. I don't have $5,000. Okay. You know in the back of your mind it's a $500 or $1,000 website. Could you do $3,500? $3,500 compared to $5,000 is a $1,500 deduction. That is 3 of your cheapest websites. That is going to be the difference selling on value versus selling on the benefits that your website is going to provide, right? Now that person goes, oh, okay, it's only $3,500. It's still a little bit much for me. Could you meet me at $2,500? Look, I normally don't go that low, but I really like your business. I really like what you guys have going on. I'll meet you at $2,500. Just do me a favor. If anybody asks you how much you paid for your website, please don't tell them. I'm just doing this because I really am interested in working with you guys. I really like your company message. I like what you guys have going on. I really think that I can help your company and build you guys a kick-ass website that is going to help your company grow. The way you position that makes it far more important to the customer, and they go, oh, okay, great. They're going to have way more trust in you. They know that you're going to be able to solve all of their problems, even though it's the exact same product, right? Think about it. A BMW and a Honda Accord really are the exact same car. Actually, a Honda Accord's way more reliable. Right now, BMW might be faster. Yes, okay. But other than that, they both do the exact same thing. They get you from point A to point B. That's it, right? Safely with all of the bells and whistles for the most part, right? So these are the ways that you have to think about the way you go about your business and the way you start to charge your amount of money, however much money that is. Because if you don't start to sell based on the value that your website is going to be providing to that customer, then you're always going to be stuck below the sub 1,000 line. Now, don't get me wrong. At my agency, have we built less than $1,000 websites? Yes. Do we still build less than $1,000 websites? Yes, because we can turn them out like a machine. We've got it dialed in where we can keep our costs super low and we can build an incredible product for a lot of people. But they are few and far between. They are usually much, much higher than that, right? Every once in a while, look, I'm a sucker for child entrepreneurs or, stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad that wants a website done. Yeah, of course I'm going to help you guys out and hook you guys up and get you guys a kick-butt website. But for the vast majority of other people, especially in an established business, if you go in, yeah, I could solve most people's problems for $1,000, $1,500. But I don't want to make $1,000 or $1,500. I want to make $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 on your website. And that's what you have to get in the habit of, is figuring out the value that customer is going to get out of it. Now, how do you go actually figure out that value? You have to ask deep, penetrating questions. If you do not ask deep, penetrating questions at any point, you're just a commodity. You're just as good as the guy next door. You're just as good as the guy down the street. And if you don't think that there's a web designer on every single corner in the country, go online and search web designers near me. I can almost guarantee you there's probably 10 to 20 of them within a 10-mile radius. Of course, depending on if you live in like Alabama or Alaska, there may be fewer. And on top of that, we could work anywhere in the world. So keep that in mind. There is so much competition out there. So what makes your website different than somebody else's, right? It's just a website. It's going to take us all the same amount of time, but it's the way you position the website that is going to make you more money time and time and time again. So sell based on value. All right, I was going to draw something out, but I don't think it's really necessary. But if you look at the value and what it's actually providing and the problems it's solving for that customer, you're going to have way more success with it, right? This is exactly what I did in the IT world. We used to sell some of the most expensive equipment, but I always provided the value of that product or service that we were selling. And because of that, we were able to get 2 or 3x what the competitors were charging, and people were smiling, handing us a paycheck on it. So keep this in mind when you're going through it. I hope you guys found value in this video. I hope you guys are charging more money. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. I'd be happy to answer these questions. Other than that, thank you very much. Bye.